Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever everybody's at when you're watching this video. All depends on what part of the world you're in. Sky from Sky's Off-Road Design here. And today we're going to be discussing the OBS Ford's 1980 through 97 track bar brackets, track bars themselves. The reason you need them, what they are, why you got to have them, all of that good stuff. First off, so track bar brackets. We make these in a stock replacement for the guys that are doing F-350 conversions on the F-250, such as what we've got behind us here. Perfect situation of things that weren't done right and why you got to have these. We do a 3-inch version for the guys with 3-inch reversals, a 4-inch version for the 4-inch reversals. Anything larger than that, we do have a track bar conversion kit of the spring, matches our crossover steering kit, the ball joints, and also the kingpins. We do these in powder coated. We do them in raw. If you want to have it custom painted, it's underneath your oil pan. Good luck with that. This is just more for protection than anything. They do look kind of snazzy because they are black. Track bars. We make them in a bushing version, which matches the factory Ford sizes, 9/16 bolt, same width, everything like that. They're adjustable, heavy wall DOM, a little bit better than the factory Ford stuff by quite a bit. Bushings keep the noise down, road vibration wise. We do also make a more extreme duty heim joint version. This will get a little bit of vibration from the axle to the frame. Honestly, if you've got 4-inch exhaust on your Power Stroke, you're probably never going to hear this. If it's a nice quiet 351 or 306, you might notice it when you're driving down the freeways. It's just kind of a light rumble. Probably no worse than the tires that are on the truck these days. Kits come with all the hardware to bolt them on. We try to reuse the factory Ford hardware, as it's kind of an exotic, weird hardware, shouldered bolt. So you can get those still from Ford. Anyhow, other than that, brackets go on like so, and these 3 bolt holes here are the bolt holes in the cross member on an F-350. If you have an F-250 and you're doing a TTB to solid axle conversion, you may or may not have these holes. Yeah, we should probably make a template for that, for the guys with F-250s. Luckily, we have this great truck in the background that we can mock up all this stuff off of. So, let's show you why you need it, now that you know what it is, and who, how, and them. I think we've kind of covered everything there as the basics. We'll get into why you need it. All right, so today we are here looking at a truck that came to us. Customer complained of a harsh ride. It has 4-inch springs on it already. That's not going to help anything. But one thing we're going to notice here is that the track bar is actually contacting the track bar bracket at ride height. That's not going to help suspension work in any way. Every time it does compress enough not to be rubbing, it's going to slam back on the bracket. And when it's just driving down the road, it is going to be horrible. It is going to create road noise vibrations and other squeaks that you don't want. So we also noticed that this track bar has been adjusted to fit this lift by extending it, which is a cut in the middle and weld it back together job. We prefer not to do that method because who knows what's been welded together here. It might be a piece of conduit in there. And then if you get to the actual track bar bracket at the frame, we see that it has no bracket drop whatsoever on it. It is a factory bracket right off of the F-350. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing up in the air, and we're going to get it to where it might drive halfway decently. And that is going to require the Sky's track bar bracket for a 4-inch lift, and also our adjustable track bar, which we will end up using the bushing version on to get as little road noise as possible. So we're going to go ahead and get it taken apart. Okay, so here we are. We've got everything torn off of this thing. You can see the original point here, it looks like they had to drill this hole. That looks like it might have been original. That looks like it might have been original. And we're going to go ahead and install our 4-inch bracket, which I have sitting behind me here. And that's going to end up going up here pretty much like so. Now this end goes over on this side, not this side. Track bar will never fit. And you get your 3 holes there. So we're going to bolt this on. It's going to give us a hell of a lot better angle between here and the bracket. So we're going to install it, and we'll be back here in a minute with what we got done. All right, so here we are back, and we've got our bracket bolted on. We've got our track bar in here, which we'll zoom around to in a minute. We've got our factory Ford hardware that we've reused on the track bar. That is not included in the kit due to its unique style. Anyhow, we are looking at a much better angle here. If you want to come around here, Tanner, we'll... Basically, our angle here kind of matches our steering again, which is what you want in a situation like this where it's kind of as best as it can be. But instead of being clear up here, where it was rubbing on everything here, it no longer is. And we're going to adjust this bad boy so that the axle's centered underneath the truck. And we will get it rolling and see how it drives. It doesn't have a shock reversal, so we're going to assume it's going to drive a little bit strange, but we'll get there. The main reason you need this, it obviously ties the front axle to the frame. And part of the issue with Ford is their small front bushings that they used in these shackles here that are itsy bitsy. Those things wear out like crazy, and it's 90% of the reason for a shock reversal. And get rid of these big thick springs. Anyway, Sky from Sky's Offroad Design here. We're going to get this thing down off the lift and get her back on the road and see how it goes.